A quarterly review concludes with one clear instruction: outperform rivals in price, features and speed simultaneously. The following month brings increased promotions and heightened internal pressure, yet customer demand remains unchanged. This squeeze occurs when strategy assumes market boundaries are unchangeable, leaving only the option to compete more fiercely. It also arises when teams accept a value-cost trade-off, choosing either lower cost or higher value. The result is a proliferation of offerings, increasing complexity, and a gradual loss of clarity regarding what buyers truly value. Over time, competitors copy improvements, leading to increased spending while differentiation fades and morale diminishes. A blue ocean shift means creating new market space by altering what is offered and how it is delivered. Instead of chasing benchmarks, it aims for a leap in buyer value while reducing the cost structure. Next, the process will cover market creation types, the human side of change, and 5 steps to build momentum. This video is inspired by Blue Ocean Shift by W. Chan Kim and Renee Mauborgne. Subscribe for more market-creating strategy breakdowns. Red oceans represent existing industries where companies compete over the same customer base, constantly comparing themselves. Blue oceans are new market spaces where demand is created, making competition less relevant to growth. 2 assumptions trap organizations in red oceans, believing that boundaries are fixed and costs must increase with value. Breaking these assumptions means reshaping boundaries and pursuing both differentiation and low cost simultaneously, not as a trade-off. One program reduced repeat offences by moving minor offenders into rehabilitation centres built on former military base land. This approach delivered higher rehabilitation outcomes while costing significantly less to build and operate than conventional prisons. This pattern illustrates how redefining the problem can expand demand or impact without incurring the usual cost penalties. The core shift is moving from competing within industry rules to opening a new value cost frontier. List the industry rules considered untouchable, then identify which ones limit value and which ones inflate costs. Then choose one rule to challenge first, and define what a significant leap in value would look like for buyers. A market-creating strategy builds new value by expanding cost frontiers, which involves changing the problem addressed and the buyers reached. Disruptive creation grows by replacing existing offerings, whereas non-disruptive creation expands markets without replacing them. Focusing solely on disruption limits vision, as many opportunities arise from solving problems that were previously ignored. A practical model distinguishes 3 approaches: breakthrough solutions, problem redefinition, and solving entirely new problems. In the home fryer market, a team challenged the assumption that fresh fries require deep frying in large amounts of oil. By redefining the goal to fresh fries with minimal oil, they created a new appliance category, generating new demand. The Blue Ocean Shift builds on this logic, expanding what is considered possible beyond benchmarked best practices. It treats market creation as a reproducible process rather than a lucky break that only entrepreneurs can achieve. Identify one existing problem in your industry that is treated as normal and reframe it as a human pain to eliminate. Then consider whether solving it would displace an old offering or expand demand without displacing anyone. A blue ocean shift succeeds when people feel safe enough to explore, contribute, and act on unfamiliar ideas. Humanness means building confidence through the process itself, not relying on incentives or structural pressure. Many transformations fail because strategy is handed off for execution later, so people do not own it. When confidence rises, teams become more creative and energized, and execution becomes part of the work. A fair process uses engagement, explanation, and clear expectations so that affected people can challenge ideas and understand decisions. When these practices are missing, even good changes can be rejected because people feel rolled over. This human layer protects the shift from politics and fear, so market-creating tools can be used honestly. It also keeps learning visible, because first-hand discovery lets the team see reality rather than defend prior opinions. Start by stating what will be decided, who will be involved, and how feedback will be used at each step. If building confidence while changing strategy matters, subscribe and follow how these steps keep teams aligned under pressure. The first step involves scoping the initiative, which means selecting the specific offering or business to tackle initially. A portfolio map distinguishes between pioneers, migrators, and settlers, helping the team visualize where growth potential truly lies. Without a clear scope, Teams often argue about priorities and spread their efforts too thin across multiple offerings and customer groups. A focused starting point makes progress visible and reduces the risk of being overwhelmed by the entire organization. In large organizations with numerous products, this tool forces an honest view beyond current revenue and market share. The next step is to create an as-is strategy canvas, ensuring everyone shares a unified picture of how the industry competes. An as-is strategy canvas is a one-page visual that highlights factors of competition and how offerings compare across them. As teams discover these patterns themselves, their willingness to rethink the status quo grows naturally without forced persuasion. Gather a diverse group of people who interact with the offering, then list the factors customers value and complain about. Draw the as-is curve beside key rivals, then circle the factors that appear copied, costly, or confusing. Step 3 shifts attention from current customers to non-customers, meaning people outside the industry's usual demand. The 3-tier framework maps soon to be, refusing and unexplored non-customers, making hidden demand visible. Without this map, non-customers remain a vague idea, and teams revert to serving the same buyers better. Seeing the full demand landscape reveals that the fought-over customer base may be only a fraction. Some merchants reluctantly accept card payments, paying fees and hidden charges because customers expect that option. They would switch quickly if an easier and less expensive alternative removed the pain points they tolerate today. Step 4 then uses 6 paths to reconstruct market boundaries, replacing random brainstorming with field-based learning. The 4 actions framework converts insights into eliminate, reduce, raise, and create choices that pursue value and cost together. Step 5 selects the move at a blue ocean fare, then runs rapid market tests to refine it. Keep each option on one page, then test the riskiest assumptions first before a full launch. The goal is not to win a louder fight in existing markets, but to create new space where value and cost shift together. This requires seeing beyond today's rules and treating market boundaries as choices that can be redesigned. The process begins with a clear scope and a shared vision, then expands demand through non-customers and boundary reconstruction. It transforms field insights into concrete actions by eliminating and reducing cost drivers while raising and creating buyer value. When humanness is present, fear diminishes, cooperation increases, and execution begins before the strategy is fully defined. A fair process makes decisions feel legitimate, so people commit even when the chosen path is not their first preference. Rapid market tests then replace debate with learning, revealing what needs refinement before resources are scaled up. Over time, each step builds confidence and creative competence, so the organization becomes better at creating markets repeatedly. Start with one offering and one team, then move step by step until a real option is ready. If creating new demand without endless rivalry sounds worth pursuing, subscribe for more guided breakdowns of these methods.